Good morning. It's Saturday morning this morning. I think it's day 16, or perhaps it's day 2 of series 2 of lockdown, shutdown, quiet time together. It was quite ironic that yesterday was Good Friday, a time of some somber reflection about sacrifice and suffering. And maybe there's some undertones to that in today's story. It may look like I'm dressed to go for a run. I can assure you that I'm not. Even if I was allowed to, I wouldn't be running. Walking is more my thing. But being a Saturday, I thought maybe it would be appropriate to have at least a sporting theme, given how much most of us are missing our sports. I'd worked in Angola for some time in 2013, and it was a Saturday morning. I was in a very, very posh hotel, an expensive hotel, and I was very thankful for the air conditioning and a 5-star buffet, all-you-can-eat English breakfast. It was the first time that I noticed how full this restaurant was on this particular Saturday. Normally there were scatterings of a few execs from American oil companies or delegations that were eating together. But this Saturday morning, it was absolutely packed. There was hardly a seat in the house. A man walked past with a side plate full of fruit, and it was clear that he was looking for a place to sit. I motioned to him to join me, which he did graciously. And I started to learn a lot about this particular gathering. It turns out they were all athletes from all over the world, and they were competing in the half marathon championship in Luanda, Angola. This humble man pointed out a few household names which I really should have recognized. And one by one, people walked across to him to greet him. They asked for his autograph. They took selfies with him. And only when the race organizer sat down, pulled up a chair and joined us, did I realize that I was actually sitting with an Olympian. I was horrified I didn't know this man. And after the meal and the obligatory photograph and the exchanging of cards and pleasantries, I rushed straight up to my room and went to Google. It turns out João Ntiamba was born in 1968 in Angola, and is the only man in history, the only man, to have competed in 6 track and field Olympic Games. Now, there have been others in equestrian and shooting and sailing, but as a true athlete, he's the only man who's competed in 6. By the way, there are 4 women who have done this, but that's the subject of another essay. I've always believed that perhaps now more than ever, we need more leadership of that style and grace. João Ntiamba, to date, is also, at least according to Google, is also still the Angolan record holder in the 800 meters, the 1,000 meters, the 1,500 meters, the 3,000 meters, the 10,000 meters, the half marathon, and the full marathon. Now, if that isn't adaptability and agility over the course of a career. He never won a medal in 20 years of international competition, including 5 world championships. He competed in his first Olympic Games in Seoul in 1988 and ran his last one in Beijing in 2008, all the while running for his country. In 1988, I was in my first year in the South African Air Force, supporting a war against that very same country. I guess I learned a lot more than just about athletics during that remarkable and spontaneous breakfast. It started with a simple greeting and a warm acceptance. It led to a conversation over a meal. It remains to this day as one of the great pieces of understanding about myself and others. I wonder if at this time the world needs to just eat together a little more. We often cry out that Africa needs more heroes, people like João with both humility and honor, hospitality and humanity. Perhaps we are learning that Africa actually has many of these heroes, and maybe what we might need to do is to actually just notice them. Over this time, there will be hundreds of heroes who never win medals. They won't be acknowledged. But perhaps we'll need to notice them during this time together. So today, have a wonderful Saturday, and remember just one, perhaps, of the unsung heroes that Africa is offering up at this time. We'll see you tomorrow for Easter Sunday.